Hello and welcome to a Blaseball Statistical History, a look at the Breckenridge jazz hands development across the discipline era. We meet the Breckenridge jazz hands in Season 1 with their slogan, "We've got winning to do, just for you." There is a fair amount of strength in the lineup, but the rotation has some real weaknesses. The era opens well for the jazz hands, as they finish top of their division and third in the league. They enter the postseason, where they are knocked out in round 1 by eventual champions, the Pies. The team then sees a similar performance in Season 2, as they finish joint 5th overall. They once again lose to the Pies in the postseason, but this time in round 2. They do face an incineration, as Hendrix Richardson replaces Alexandria Drakena. This leaves the team slightly weaker heading into Season 3. Season 3 has the Jazz Hands finishing 9th in the league. In the postseason, they are knocked out in round 1 by eventual champions, the Tigers. Another incineration sees August Sky replacing Ogden Mendoza, and the team faces 2 allergic peanut reactions. The election sees the Jazz Hands improve their base running by 15%, and they steal star batter Nagomi McDaniel from the Fridays. But this did not last long, as the Crabs promptly stole Nagomi from them. The team were also the target of a spy's blessing, which was meant to decrease their base running by 10%, but misfired and instead improves them. The lineup is weaker from Peanuts, but the rotation has strengthened. The Jazz Hands have a good season, finishing top of their division and joint 3rd overall. In the postseason, they are knocked out by eventual champions, the Tigers, in round 2. A feedback swap sees Top Fox head to the Crabs in exchange for Valentine games. But the good season sees the Jazz Hands have targeted shame inflicted on them as one of the top 4. They also have their vibes impaired by the Moist Talkers. The alternate decree is bad news for the lineup, but sees a vast improvement for the rotation. Staying towards the top of the league in Season 5 at 5th, once more into the postseason, where the Jazz Hands made it all the way to the final before losing to the Firefighters. They get a reverb of their rotation and then move into the newly formed Wild High. The team steal Nagomi McDaniel back from the Crabs, but do lose one of their pitchers to the Stakes. Overall, this leads to good news for the team. The division move hasn't thrown the team at all, as they come 2nd and 3rd overall. Now a regular fixture of the postseason, they lose in round 2 to the champions, the Crabs. There are several feedbacks, as they send Valentine games to the Millennials, Comfort Septemberish to the Spies, and Hendrix Richardson to the Sunbeams. Randall Marijuana, recently acquired, is then incinerated and replaced by Steph Weeks. Blood Rain has 2 positive to 1 negative activation. The election gives the team the 4th strike, and Steph Weeks gains gravity boots, which prevents them from being shuffled in a reverb. Then the Crabs, determined to make this trade, steal Nagomi McDaniel back. All of this leaves the team with far less star power. Still, Season 7 sees them sitting pretty at joint 4th in the league. In the postseason, they lose in round 1 to the Lovers. Blood Rain goes in their favour, but an allergic peanut reaction brings things down. Their top 4 position sees them out of the runnings for blessings, and they lose a batter to the Fridays, who also inflict shame on them. It is a much weaker Jazz Hands who head into Season 8. And it shows, as the team posts their first negative win record and come 15th overall. This is the first season of the discipline era where they have not qualified for the postseason. They see 3 positive Blood Rains and 2 negative, but their slip down the league does allow them to experience party time, with 8 parties, and they then get a serious boost for some of their players hitting in the election. This all helps, and the team regains some of their strength. But it's not much of an improvement, as the Jazz Hands only rise to 13th. They also lose some of their progress with negative Blood Rains and another allergic peanut reaction. They also only get 1 party, despite their lower standing. Thankfully, they are protected from 5th base by the crabs, but they will endure shame due to the flowers. There isn't much of a change in team power, but they do gain Fire Eater, Siphon and Friend of Crows modifications for Steph Weeks, Combs Estes and Walton Sports. Another tough season for the Jazz Hands, as they finish 4th in their division and joint 15th overall. They have a large amount of negative blood rains, but do enjoy 8 parties. They win no blessings, but as a result of the Shelled One's defeat, they gain Wyatt Pothos on their rotation. The parties have made some difference, and Wyatt adds some serious strength to the team. And there is a slight improvement, as the team gains 1 position in the league. Neither Black Hole nor Sun 2 work particularly well for the Jazz Hands, as their opponents activate them twice as often as they do. There are 6 parties, and in the election, the Tower becomes their arcana. During the Discipline era, the Jazz Hands experienced 3 incinerations, 4 feedbacks, and 1 reverb. None of their players were shelled, but they did gain a player from the Shelled One's pods. Peanuts did not go in their favour, with 4 allergic reactions. 23 party times sweetened the deal slightly, but blood rain was more negative than positive, and the team saw the highest number of negative blood rain drains of any team. The Jazz Hands appeared in the first 7 postseasons of the era, and alongside the stakes, that is the highest number of postseason appearances for a team that hasn't won a championship. They did win 7 blessings in the elections, benefited from 1, but were affected by 9 more. The team ends the era in a bit of a mess. There is some star power in the rotation, but the lineup is uneven, and the positioning of the best hitters does not help matters. Thank you for joining me for another Blaxplanation. I'll be back with more Blaseball fun and facts soon, but until then, rejoice, play ball.